Welcome back to Simrite Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew a cut together bubu kaftan with front slit and a zipper at the center front with front pocket as well. It also has a belt, but I decided to use my own belt to wear this dress. You can wear this dress as a free dress. You can also wear with your belt if you want. You can see how beautiful this dress looks right here, with or without a belt. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn more. Fabric is Ankara fabric, and I'm using 2.5 yards of Ankara fabric. I also have a doll face satin fabric which I want to use to cut out the front slits. Next is to open up your Ankara fabric. The 2.5 yards, I'm going to open it up. Here is the length of Ankara, which comes at 45 inches, and this is the yardage, which is 2.5 yards. So I'm going to place the 2.5 yards of Ankara into two. After folding into two, we are going to pick up the other part of the 2.5 yards, the down part, and we are going to kiss it to the other side as well. So you are going to fold it again. That is what I'm actually explaining. So you fold it again. As you can see me fold right here, just go ahead and fold again. If you are using crepe fabric, it's the same thing, 2.5 yards. Then you also fold the way I folded my Ankara fabric. So after folding, I'm going to take 2.5 inches width of my neckline. 2.5 inches is the width of my neckline, and 1 inch is the depth of the back neckline. So we are going to draft the front and back. The neck depth for the front is 8 inches, and I came in by 2 inches. You come in by 2 inches. Next is to connect that point to the neck width of 2.5 inches. Next, we are going to start marking 2 inches, 2 inches from the neckline all the way down. That is for the front slit. Of course, you know how to go about this part. So make sure it's 2 inches. So I'm trying to be sure what I have on the neck depth of 8 inches is 2 inches downwards. Next, we are going to start marking the vertical measurements. So for the vertical measurements, I'm only going to take from my shoulder to my waist, which is 17 inches, and my hip 29 inches, and the full length is 41 inches. You can make it shorter or you can make it longer. This is my waist, and this is the hip, and this is the full length. Next is to come over to your waistline. On the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement. From the center front, take your waist measurement, divide by 4. Mine is 10 inches. Then add 4 inches. Add 4 inches. Then from the shoulder on that line, you are going to measure downwards 10 inches. So 10 inches is just the chest line. Let me call it the chest line. So it's a bubu, it needs to be free. So 10 inches is okay. If you're on a bigger size, you can do 11 inches if you want. It's a cut together bubu. Then on the sleeve part, I'll measure 13 inches on the sleeve part. And I'm going to connect that kimono cuff to the sleeve parts. So there is no seam on the shoulder, no seam on the armhole. It's cut together all the way. But if you want to put a seam on the shoulder, no problem. So I've connected from that point to the sleeve opening. Next, you come over to the hip. From the center front, you measure your hip circumference, divide by 4, add 4 inches again. Then come over to the hem, that is the full length. Measure your hip circumference, divide by 4. My own is 12. I added 7 inches. You can add 6 to 7 inches. Then we are going to connect all the way down. This is an A-line bubu kaftan anyway, so you just go ahead and curve it in. So as it stands right now, we are done. So you come up by 1.5 inches just to blend that A line, not to have a pointy edge, but that is optional. Next, we are going to start cutting. So I'll go over to cut right now. I'm going to cut from the down parts. I'll cut into the sides. From there, I'll go over to the sleeve. And we'll move over to the front piece. So the neckline you are cutting here is only the back. Please just cut only the back. After cutting the back, we are going to open up this dress, so we'll be able to cut out the slit at the front. But before that, I decided to extend my sleeve. Because I'm using Ankara comes at 45, so when you fold it into two, the sleeve will be shorter. But if you are using crepe, you don't have any problem because crepe length is longer. So I'll just join my sleeve. That is what I'm doing right here. Just get the part you cut off and add it up to your sleeve, just the length you want. So I went ahead to join it. Alright, so that is by the way. If you want to join your sleeve, then I'm trimming it off by the side so it matches with the sleeve. I will set this part aside right now. So this is me trying to trim off my sleeve. So like I said, if you want a longer sleeve, you can join your sleeve if you are using Ankara fabric. Now we are going to cut out. So you have to open up. You open up the front dress. Make sure the center front and center back are matching well and the neckline is matching well before you cut this part. So after arranging it, I'm going to cut this part right now. Go ahead to cut. Go ahead and cut through the chalk line. That is where the front slit is going to be. So I'll just go ahead and cut it from the neckline all the way to the hem. Next, you are going to measure the neckline. Put them together and take the measurement from the center back to the hem. Whatever you get, add 5 inches to it. Now I am going to cut out the strip right away. So I folded my strip with the measurement I took right now, and the width of this strip is 6 inches. Okay, I'm going to cut out the 6 inches plus the length I measured. Make sure you add to the length. Okay, it's better you have an excess than you have a shortage. We are going to mark out the neckline. So the strip is on fold. Remember, from that folded point, I'm going to measure the neckline at 13 inches. Like I said, the width is 6 inches. Just get the midpoint at 3 inches. And you are going to mark that 3 inches all the way down. I'm marking on the right side of the fabric. Take note. So we are going to rule the line. You are going to connect all the lines from that 13 inches neckline all the way down. After that is done, I'm going to turn the other side. Remember, we are going to also go down by 13 inches, get the midpoint at 3, and then do the same thing I did the other way. So I wanted to tell you that we are adding a zip. So since we are attaching a zip, you are going to mark the both sides for this zipper. Now I'm done marking. Next is to open up this. So we are going to open up to sew our zip. So by right, it's supposed to be folded the way you see me fold it right now, and that is where the zip is going to be. Next is to sew the zip, which is the main purpose of this tutorial. So to sew this zip, I'm going to open up the zip and open up the strip as well. So from the part that is on the neckline, I will place one part of this zip facing the zip teeth will face the right side. As you see right here, it will face the right side that way. So by the time you fold it, this is what you have. So from that neck depth of 13 inches, I'll use my zipper foot, as you see me do right here, to sew in one part of the zip, just like you do when you are fixing your zip on your dress. Here you can see I've sewn it to the end. That is one side of the zip. So this is what I got after I've sewn. So by the time you fold the zip, you have the zip teeth. So after folding, just try and, after sewing, try and fold it the way I fold and try zipping it. So when you zip it, this is what you are going to have. So the other length, you move it the way I picked it up and match it up as if you have sewn it. Then you open up the zipper, open up the slits, fold in the zipper head and secure with your pin. So this is how you are going to sew this to get it right. Now I'm going to pin from that neckline the way I picked it up. You can see where the zipper teeth is facing on the other side right now. So I'll just go over to the machine after pinning to the end, and we are going to stitch in the other part of the zip. So right here, I will take it to the machine. I will open up the slit. Make sure you open up the slit at all times. So, and sew on the chalk line too. So I'm going to sew all the way from that point to coming up to the neckline. After I'm done sewing, this is what I got right here. So you just go ahead and fold it. So my zip is not too long, that is why I'm having a slit. But I think I like this design of having a slit. But if you have a long zip, you can get a long zip from the market. Ask for it, you will get it, okay? So after that, I'm going to iron out. Make sure you give it a good press. So this is what I'm doing. I'm giving it a very, very good press before I will attach. Then I'm going to fold the center back and make a creased line. So that creased line, I'm going to use it to attach to the neckline. Next is to place the neckline together. So we'll be able to notch the center back. I'm putting it together so we can notch the center back. So here you can see my center back. I'll just go ahead and notch it. So after notching, I thought of sewing the pocket first before attaching the strip. Now I have placed my fabric on the shoulder line. I'm going to take the measurement of this pocket. So here is my shoulder line. I'll come down by 19 inches. That's 2 inches below your waistline. Then the width is 2.5 inches from the center front, and the width of the pocket is 8 inches, and the length of this pocket is 10 inches. So the length is 10 inches and the width is 8 inches, as you can see on the measurements. But make sure you move away by 2.5 inches from the center front. That is exactly what I did here. So I'll turn the other side and mark as well. So I'm just marking what I marked the other way. So 2.5 inches away from the center front, 8 inches for the width, and 10 inches for the length. It's time to cut out the main pocket. So the length here is 12 inches and the width is 10 inches. And I placed this on fold 4 inches by the same width of the pocket. So right here, I'm going to fold in the up pocket and fold in 1/2 inch to the back side. So this is how I'm going to fold. I'll top stitch on the upper pocket and iron the 1/2 inch all around it. So this is what I got after I'm done with the pocket. And the pocket cover, I stitch 1/2 inch on both sides. So the width of this pocket on fold is 4 inches. That is the pocket cover. Please take note. Now we are going to place this pocket right on that 8 by 10 inches pocket mark. So after stitching, automatically your length will match up. So this is it. I'm going to place it and sew. So you go over to your machine, first secure with your pin. Of course, you know how to sew pockets, okay? But this is just a guide for you. I will go ahead to secure with my pins. After I'm done pinning, we are going to stitch all around. Then leave the upper part of the pocket open. So this is me stitching right now, and as it stands, I'm going to stitch all around, leaving the upper pocket open. Once I get to the upper piece, I'll take off the pins, and then we are going to stitch the pocket cover. So make sure you top stitch very well too. Now I'm going to place the pocket cover. So here is my the opening of my pocket. So this is how we place the pocket cover. So you place it to kiss the opening, and then we'll go over to stitch just half an inch. So I'll go ahead and stitch half an inch, but at this point please, you need to be careful you don't stitch on the pocket itself. Next, I'm going to fold this pocket this way, and I'm going to also stitch another half an inch to close it up. So like I said, please don't stitch on the pocket opening. After stitching, this is what I got. You can see how neat it is right there. So the pocket is ready, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on. So I've done the same thing to the two pockets. So the two pockets are ready right now. Now we are going to sew the slit. So for the slit, you are going to, this is what the back of this slit looks like after we are done sewing the zip. So I'm going to place right side to right side, the center back and the center back of the dress. Then go ahead and stitch half an inch all around. So I'll just go ahead and stitch half an inch all around right now. So I'll secure with my pin. You can pin all the way down, or you can stitch from center back down. Anyhow you want to stitch is fine and good. So after stitching, it will look like this. So this is me stitching from the center back, and I'm going to run the stitches all the way down. So I continue stitching like that all the way down. So after stitching, this is what it's supposed to look like, and the dress is ready. So next is to cut out or level that part. Okay, so you just go ahead and cut it straight that way. Make sure it's aligning. Of course, you see how it's aligning at that point. The next I'm going to do is to close up the sleeve. So you can see I went ahead to join my sleeve to make it up. Next is to finish up the hem of the sleeve, which I'm going to do. So just do whatever you know how to do. After I'm done, I'm going to put, after hemming the sleeve, next is to sew the sides. I'm going to sew the sides at 1 inch and hem the down part of this dress. After sewing, I'm going to make notches on that curvy part where we have the kimono part. I usually like to make 2 notches to ease that part, so that part will be free when you wear the dress. Here we have come to the end of this tutorial. So you can create a belt for this, but I didn't want to create a belt for it. I already have a beautiful belt to wear this. So I will go ahead and use my belt to wear this dress. So you can see the slit I have there is looking fine and good. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell. Thanks for watching.